Yes, there are the manuals about A, B, C, D, and these are the buttons to press, and that's all cool. But I think long before that is about presence. My experience has been when making love with a woman, being fully present with her is really what blows her away.
Hi, I'm Yolanda, and this is The Curious Exchange, a live interactive event in Cape Town where we have conversations that can support you in living a happier, healthier, more conscious life by experts who are really passionate about their topics. This is the first edition we're bringing to you online because not everybody lives in Cape Town, and the wisdom our speakers share are just too golden to not share with the rest of the world. I hope you find our conversations inspiring and enriching. In this edition, we feature Lenerd Louw, a conscious male sex coach who shares his insights into more connected, longer lovemaking. Let's dive in. Quick introduction, only the tip of the iceberg. He's really come out of a corporate, the more I learn about you, it's just such a massive transformation and shift that you made in your life. Lenerd is actually an advocate. He's got an LLB and an MBA. He helped found and ran big insurance companies and in South Africa, hugely successful. And I believe it was around 2012, you went through a massive shift and transformation and sold all your possessions, went traveling the world, and, going on your self-exploratory mission. I think you went to around 35 countries even. Sure. And so this is it's so beautiful because you've really come from this, corporate world, and now you are helping people get in touch with their sexuality. That's the tip of the iceberg, but I know you want to get into the meat. And so just briefly tell us, Lenerd, just tell us a little bit about what you do so that people understand what is a male sex coach.
I'm still getting used to that term, actually, with my background. I'm just passionate about the awakening of humanity. I'm just passionate about the evolution of where we're going. And I believe sexuality is the fastest way for the collective consciousness to live. Now that's my why. That's where I come from. And then sexuality is often the last thing that people do. They do a lot of yoga and meditation, but a lot of all these energy centers, but almost leave the sexuality and the guilt and shame and fear that's there, leave that for last. So I work with men, women, and couples, but mainly recently it seems to be going with men. I'm following the breadcrumbs, and that's where it's taking me. A lot of men's work, also broader than just sexuality, also getting into emotions, getting into a deep inner journey, but including sexuality. So I'm in a space of mastery. So I'm not a therapist. I don't deal necessarily with trauma. I'm trauma informed, but I'm not a trauma expert. I'm more in terms of excellence and mastery in terms of sexuality and the art of lovemaking.
Beautiful, beautiful. And how did you arrive at this? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
There's such a central theme on sexuality in my life. So in my teenage years, I was in a conservative boarding school in Pretoria, and we were told, burn in hell, you have sex before marriage. Who has had that before? Who's had that in their teenage years or not?
Yeah.
So I was very much, that imprint on me. So I ended up only making love, having sex when I was 21, and I was even at university, and that was, so it's fascinating, the central theme. Then around about the age of 40, I was in a long-term relationship, and we made love quite a lot. He was a good 16, 17 years younger than me, and it was just recently out of a divorce where we didn't have a lot of sex. And I just started having these body sensations and a lot of lovemaking. And I started having what they would call orgasms without ejaculating, becoming multi-orgasmic. And there was no one to talk to. At that point I was in business, So in a boardroom is hardly the last thing you're going to talk about to the guys there about ejaculation, you know. So
Will you pass the sugar? And
yeah,
by
exactly.
the way,
Yeah,
by the way, last night.
exactly. Whilst we're looking at the agenda there before we
Yeah.
start, okay, boys, how does ejaculation work for you? Obviously, I mean, that wasn't,
Yeah.
you know, men, traditionally speaking, don't, you know, talk about sex with each other, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
Apart from the, you know, the, what do you call it, the quick one-liners that they do in a sport rooms or whatever about, oh yes, I no, just do it, fuck yeah. No,
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I fucked up hard or whatever. And then, but this lot of boasting. There's no intimate, vulnerable talking about it. And often when you hear these things, you go and you wonder, I wonder, you know, how, you know, was it probably a 30-second experience for, you know. So yeah, so it was just fascinating. There was no one to speak to in those days. And then later in my, moved down, you know, was down here in Cape Town and Clifton, and that's where the internal shift happened, and where I really thought I must do something else with my life. And I tried to disrupt myself with a lot of drugs, sex, and jacuzzis. The first 3 chapters of the book is just about that. Before we get to the spiritual awakening.
Drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
I basically then resigned, sold everything, gave everything away, went around the world. And then in Hawaii, I had my first Tantra festival. We did the eye gazing and all of that. And I started talking to other guys there. And then I heard about Tantra and Taoism. So as crazy as it may sound, is I experienced this without even hearing the word Tantra. But when I was at these festivals, there were guys talking about the same thing, that you can breathe the energy up and you can make love along. And that went, wow. And then I actually looked and found out these are practices from 3,000 years ago. So I've already had an embodiment experience, embodied by the grace of God, by the grace of the universe, what you call it, of this. Yeah, so it's, and out of that journey, I then went on to a lot of trainings and Tantra trainings, the National School of Temple Arts, ended up in India, with a lot of other stuff, and meditation part. Yeah, so 5 years around the world, 35 countries, came back to South Africa, wrote a book. And out of the book, it's a memoir of the last 10, 15 years. And out of the book, people were asking questions and said, can you share more? So it wasn't planned, it just developed from there. So if you were asking me 10 years ago, would I work with men's sexuality? I wouldn't have even guessed it. So yeah, it's the journey.
Incredible. Thank you so much. And you've already touched on it, but maybe can you tell us a bit more about how you see spirituality is linked to sexuality? You know, I think for some people, it's quite a foreign concept. I'm sure there's some people in the room that have explored Tantra maybe a little bit, but if you can just expand on, how do you see that link?
Yeah, as I said earlier, you know, we've got all these energy centers in our body, and we talk about spirituality is from the heart up, the consciousness up, and so many practices out there that work from these energy centers up, and they deny the bottom chakras, you know, the root chakra and the sacral chakra, you know, energy centers. And in essence, you know, we are spirits and souls here, but we're also in animal bodies. And that's the full experience. So we here and we want to ascend the whole time, and we want to meditate the whole time, and we don't want to deny our sexuality. We're not really having the real experience on this planet. And that's what turns me on, is the moment you realize that spirituality and sexuality is one thing, and it's really connected, then you really start thriving and living on this planet. And there's so many people that are disconnected from their sexuality. I mean, so many. I mean, I sometimes get into tears when I see it, you go to some festivals, yoga festivals.
Yeah.
8 years ago, Spirit Fest, I was there in the river, and everyone was totally disconnected. Yeah, so for me, it's about presence. You know, being right there, right at with the person you're with, in the body and not in your mind, you know. So a lot of guys come to me and say, okay, I want to learn about lovemaking and art of lovemaking. And yes, there are the manuals about A, B, C, D, and these are the buttons to press, and that's all cool. But I think long before that is about presence. My experience has been when making love with a woman and being fully present with her is really what blows her away. And this sounds like a subtle point, guys, but it is so important. Just being present in that moment, you know. And by the way, I'm talking heteronormative language here. This applies to same-sex relationships, marriage. I'm just keeping it simple with the language. But presence is the big thing. Just being present with a person, you know, present being right there, right here with the person, you know, rather than looking in the corner of the room, you know, playing the porn movie or what's last night type of thing, you know.
I mean, you talk about, you know, presence in lovemaking, but presence in conversation, in daily life, there is something, I mean, big tip, guys, there is something that happens to us and our nervous systems when a guy is present. It's like, you know, and I don't know the science behind it. It's as if that's you know, the masculine energy is, yeah, it's like foundational. It's what's the word? I can't think of the word. Yeah. Say again. Well, yeah, it's solid. It's that kind of like, you know, that's the masculine. Women are free and flowing, and when a man is just present, oh my gosh! I mean, it's a instant turn on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
beautiful.
It's just like when I think about the guys that are just present and just engaged, just eye contact. You know.
Yeah.
Presence, guys, big, yeah. So it makes
Yeah.
absolutely sense in lovemaking as well, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for saying that again. Yeah, that's been my experience. I mean, this is about talking to women. This is not talking to men and myself. It's that last few partners who are like, well, yeah, it's cool. You can make love for long, but we love your presence. Isn't that, you know? So
beautiful.
So that's why, for me, that's the first thing, you know.
So on presence, there's a little exercise that you wanted to do with everyone, just about present touch.
Are you guys game for that?
Yeah, we're not going to start touching each other.
So let's do a touch on maybe on your left arm. Yeah. So the first touch is your left arm and your fingers. Maybe just do a touch, you know, just touch yourself like that. Okay. Now we're going to do it a little bit different. So have your arm out and just look at your fingers, your right hand and your fingers. Connect with your fingertips and feel the energy there. And as you just look at your fingertips and you feel on your right hand, you can see more in your fingertip, feel it almost like starting to pulse a bit. Now with that awareness of your fingers, bring it to your left hand, left forearm, and then just feel the skin. Feel the veins, the hair, down your arm to your hand. Totally focused just on what you're doing now. Move it up. You can move wherever you want to go. But intuitively, whatever you feel, intuitively move anywhere, but feel and stay present with that. Nice.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
How was that? Have you ever touched yourself like that before? Sometimes how did we?
You know, that women likes presence, feel like there's a lot of things that doesn't know what that means. Where this illustrates that, so I'm just gonna like point that out. So in lovemaking, if you in the bedroom and undressing your woman, then you will you'll pay attention to every part of the body while you're undressing her. It's not just, okay, like take the clothes off and do the act. It's actually taking time to be present with this person and really taking the connection of, like, what are you seeing, what are you smelling, what is framing this person in the room, like, what have you not noticed in this room with this person, what is the texture of the linen like, what is the texture of the clothes like, wearing linen, is it silky, is it soft, it's like, where's their lace in the underwear, and that is what brings you present when a woman says, be freaking present.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And there's from the women,
Yeah.
But so wonderful when I
It's
hear.
slowing down.
Yeah, it's so wonderful when I hear women saying this. It's not just me. Yeah, that's Madeline's saying. It's like also a previous part was always talking about actually a beautiful video with her, which also works with people, and it's like, are you touching the almond so big because you're on the way to the breast? The ABC, breast, kissing, breast, yoni, pussy.
Yeah.
Or are you actually just feeling the arm? Are you just actually being there? You're not going necessarily anywhere. So yeah, 100%. Thanks.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's just it's slowing down. It's slowing down, and there's space. There's a moment for ripping off clothes as well.
Sure.
Let's face it.
I have a question regarding presence. The previous speaker kind of spoke about having the permission to let the mind space.
Yes.
That's a different kind of presence. You perhaps maybe just speak into that, do anything.
Oh, so I think there's a space for everything in life, So I'm not black and white. Sometimes to fantasize, I think it's fine. But I think if you're 100% fantasizing when you're with your partner, then I think you're missing so much.
That's
You're in your movie in your mind the whole time. I'm not talking from, just generally speaking. So I really believe you want to be just with the person and with her body and with her, and vice versa. And by the way, this is for women also, Also women often, also a previous partner, I said, wow, in a previous relationship, she went into also a porn movie. So it's not just men that watch porn, women also,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's space for variety. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for different things. Yeah.
When we dive into subtlety, which I guess is what presence allows us to engage with, is the subtle sensation like we did now, subtlety of the pulsing on the fingertips, for example. On a biology, on a hormonal basis, men and women are quite different, where women engage in sex and it's not just dopamine, we start releasing the oxytocin. And with men and the hormonal system, to not just have the dopamine to testosterone driving up, vasopressin gets released, which is a bonding hormone for men. And that's when things are just slightly toned down a notch and made a little bit slower. The men will actually bond with their women a lot better and not just achieve dopamine.
Thank you for that, Cheryl. We're going to chat about next a big topic, and I know you shared in your book, you're a big believer in sperm retention. Please share it with us. What have you found sperm retention offers men? The benefits, and why are you a supporter of sperm retention?
So just to get a feel, how many of you have heard about that semen retention, ejaculation choice? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm on a mission by 2030 to have 1 billion people know about it. And I mean, I think it's 99% of people don't. So this is so beautiful to hear this. Yeah, so semen retention, ejaculation choice practice, I think is getting to that point is so important because we learn how, as men, how to breathe energy up. Now, we were never told this, in high school, if you play rugby, if you play football, you get coached. But no one ever coaches anyone in sex. I find it absolutely fascinating. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, I really don't get it. And that's not even in your teens, in your 20, 30, 40, 50s. Most people have never had any experience or read up about it or been coached about it. So, yeah, so the breathing up of energy is super important, you know, and there's so many benefits to this.
Sorry, when you say breathing up of energy, what do you mean?
I would love to, but later, if we have time, to do a brief exercise on that.
Sure. Okay, great.
But in essence, when you make love and you have erection, all your energy is basically on your groin area, and that's what leads to the ejaculation, because it gets so much that it spills out. And what you can do is you can breathe it up. You can do the exercise, and we can clench your PC muscles here, and you breathe it up to your head. Just one, and if you have time, we would love to do it with you guys. And you can do more, you can expand the energy, a few techniques in this space. But what it does is it spreads it through your body. And then you as a man, you know, we often heard women are multi-orgasmic, but it's only a recent thing that people realize that men are as multi-orgasmic as women. It's no difference. We've just been taught that, you know, that it's only women that have this, you know, and it's insane. So by breathing it up through your arm, up into your head and down in your body, you can start feeling all this tingling in your body, which is, call it the orgasm if you want to. And a lot of it, plus it also stops you from having the ejaculation. So why is it so important to maybe not ejaculate in 2 minutes or 30 seconds? And by the way, there's sometimes a quickie of 2-3 minutes is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But why is it important to, as a man, to last longer when you're making love? Anyone, any thought in terms of a woman's body?
Well, women take longer to get there.
Sure,
You know.
exactly. So a guy is ready within... No, exactly. That's just a biological thing, you know. So a guy is ready within 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You have an erection, you know. You're basically ready. My experience is it's for a woman to really warm up, it's 15, 20 minutes, you know. And then also when you start penetrating her, if you can make love for longer than 20 minutes whilst you're penetrating her, she then goes into orgasmic state, but she doesn't go into orgasmic state after 60 seconds, you know. So it's so important for men and women to understand this dynamic, and for men to understand it. So we're saying make love for longer, not because summer, you know, we say that because for a woman to warm up, and now once she gets into that orgasmic state after 20 minutes, and she can have her first orgasm, then as one friend of mine says, there is no off button. She gets into orgasmic state and can have orgasms for hours or for days. Let's be honest, there's actually nothing stopping that. And actually men are similar. You know, once you learn to breathe it up and you don't ejaculate, you also don't have an off button. So yeah, so that's one of the, there's so many other.
And you told me a beautiful example of, a few examples that you've seen where during the course, your 21-day course, where guys are asked to not ejaculate.
Yeah.
The other benefits, you know, outside of the bedroom, can you talk a bit about that? I mean, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So, has anyone heard about ejaculation hangover period? So normally if you ejaculate for a man, it takes you 2, 3 to 5 days just to replenish all the sperm, not just the sperm cells, and there's like 200 million sperm cells in one ejaculation, but there are also 200 vitamins and enzymes, and it takes you 2 to 5, 7 days, depending on your age, to replenish. Now imagine you, and they call that the ejaculation period. Let's say it takes you 3-4 days. You've got like this hangover period. Now imagine you ejaculate every day, and you're at the age of 14, you start this, and now you're 40. And for those, whatever is that, 26 years, you've ejaculated every day. You've always lived in this ejaculation period. You have got absolutely no context where your energy level can be. So the moment you're out of it, and I do this 21-day course with the guys, where we don't ejaculate for 21 days, we don't watch porn for 21 days, and a few other things, also morning breathing exercises. And the guys, after 7 days or 10 days, I mean, they They push more weights at the gym. Trust me, go try that. You are just stronger. You start glowing. You know, there's one guy from Prague. He's quite lovely guy, but you know, he's quite introvert. And he was saying he was sitting in he was sharing it with us in a coffee shops, and you know, he's single, and, you know, looking, you know, to find a girlfriend. And he said, women were approaching him and starting to talk to him. Now, guys, I know it sounds crazy and woo, but I promise you, you can have a, there's so many of this because they feel something different. You're vibrating something different, and you get you know, people get attracted to you. Not just women, but also business opportunities. It's fascinating. Yeah, so it's like a body hack. It's like a biohack for your health and for your energy. But there's also much more. You know, one thing maybe to quickly mention, which is what I find is so beautiful, and I've experienced it so much, is that if you don't ejaculate with your partner, and what if I say you don't ejaculate, you make love maybe daily, but you only ejaculate every 3 days or 7 days. In other words, you don't ejaculate every time that you make love. And guess what? That's okay to do that. We are so conditioned, you have to ejaculate every time you make love. And if you don't, what happens is your heart connection with your partner becomes stronger. It's fascinating. I had women on, you know, the partners giving testimonials and say, something's changed with my man. We make love and he cuddles me. It's not like in the movies, you know, you see, you know, the guy ejaculate and then, okay, he holds her because it's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes that you must cuddle, and then, okay, you're off.
Roll over.
And then roll over and sleep.
Get a snack.
So yeah, so there's so much value in that. And I have found that, you know, when I ejaculate with my partner, I kind of, I'm gonna roll over and have a sleep now. But if I don't, I become like, my inner feminine comes alive. I just want to cuddle her. I want to hold her. And you know what? 3 minutes later, I'm hard again, you know, and I can make love again. Because the refractory period, obviously, if you ejaculate, you've got, whether it's an hour or a day, there's a period to recover.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, sure. So it really, even bonds us, brings us closer.
Yeah, big bonding, creates a big bonding.
Yeah.
Okay, can I maybe just quickly explain that?
Yeah.
So in essence, evolutionary-wise, we are so geared to, as a man, to ejaculate, and then once you ejaculate, and we're talking now thousands and millions of years, then you're ready for the next woman to ejaculate in. And if you ejaculate, you're ready for the next one. I'm not talking social structures, and guys, I'm just talking evolutionary-wise.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you actually stay with this person. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Your energy stays here. And even though I was in a monogamous relationship for the last 3 years, and I didn't have, like, you know, connection with other women, there was a change. There was definitely a change. You know, if I've ejaculated, I'm quite happy actually just to go on my own walk on the beach now. And if I hadn't, I just want to cuddle with her still and, you know, just do things with her.
Beautiful. No woman is going to complain unless you need space and mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop cuddling me. Tell us, Lenerd, I know you're a big, you're big into breath, as you've already said, and sound and movement. Yeah, how does that play a role in lovemaking? What advice can you give on using sound, movement, and breath? And
so there I always look at the porn movies, you know, where the guys are. If I can illustrate, it's almost like, you know, it's like,
yeah.
It's like it's very stern, muscles are here. There's no sound. When the woman goes, the men is linear movements, and there's no sound really. Very few of these guys scream or shout when they have an orgasm. You know, if I haven't ejaculated for 2-3 weeks and I have an ejaculation with my partner, and we decide before, oh wow, I'm going to ejaculate now this session, I fucking scream the roof off this building.
Beautiful.
It's like, it's like so intense. It comes from my core.
Beautiful, yeah.
Now imagine now the woman being with you. Now, you know, I'm not doing to do anything to impress her. I do it because I feel it. But my partner goes, God, that was so beautiful. You know, that's where the two overflop.
Yeah,
that's where the two overflop. Yeah, so the sound is such a That's a big part. You also vibrate your body. The moment you sound, it's a vibration, your energy vibrates. Breathing is important because the energy flows. And also if you don't breathe, that's when you ejaculate. You know, so often if you find yourself really close, start breathing. Breathe slowly. And you can spread the energy, and ejaculation wouldn't, you know, you can retain that.
And
Breathing is so good.
and the movement you started saying about, yeah, and, you know, what's the opposite of what we see in the porn movies? You know,
Exactly,
is it
yeah.
using body more. And,
Yes, that's
yeah,
like rolling
movement,
around.
flowing.
Become like, well, if I'm talking to the guys now, but become a little bit like a woman also, you know, just be in the flow. You know, sometimes you can be ravishing. You know, I often get the question, is Tantra just about slow, sensual lovemaking? No, it's not. It's also about ravishing. You know, I love that word in English language.
Ravishing.
Ravishing, isn't it?
Ravishing, yeah, I love
Which
ravishing.
for me, it's like
being ravished.
being ravished. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
beautiful word, you know, and it's like being taken, you know, and I mean,
Yeah.
and you know, the woman can also ravish you and take you. But isn't there's nothing better for me than to take a woman and to ravish her, you know? And obviously when she's ready, it starts slow and sensual, but if I can feel she's calling that in, to ravish her and with my heart open, you know, to fuck someone deep and hard with your heart open, you know, that's beautiful. And vice versa, to be fucked like that. So yeah, so just to get to the movement part, so the movement part is also to flow with that and to not just the linear stuff.
Well, so then let's maybe talk about some practical tools that men specifically here can walk away with, but anyone, men or female, yeah. Yeah.
So we do that breathing.
Yeah, let's do it. Are you guys game?
So
Are we going to
go
have, can I just voice the elephant in the room? Are we all going to orgasm at the same time? What are we getting ourselves
Yeah,
into?
but let's hope so.
What are we getting ourselves into? Should we try that? Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that. So basically you can sit, you can stand, you can do whatever feels right. Now, so women would know this really well. It's the PC muscles. You know, I think they're called Kegel exercises
Kegel,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So between the anus and I mean for the women to do the same, you know, the same thing. So basically to contract, I would say we're going to contract, and then we're going to go breathe the energy up to top of your head. So basically have you contracting here, and then you're going to imagine you breathe the energy up, the back of your spine to the top of your head, and then we can just hold it there for a bit. And then we're gonna relax. So I'm gonna talk us through it. So contract, breathe up, hold it, and imagine, think about the top of your head there. Just hold it there. Relax. Contract, breathe up. Hold it there. Top of your head. Relax. Contract, breathe up. Hold it at the top of your head and focus, put your attention to the top of your head, yeah, your attention. The energy is there. Okay, now we're going to do an advanced one. We are going to contract and breathe up, but whilst we have it up there, we're going to pump with our PC muscles like 3 times. Can do 5 or 10 times also, but let's do 2, 3 times. So you're gonna stay contracted. You're gonna breathe up, stay contracted. But whilst you contract it, you're gonna almost pump in more energy up your spine. You're gonna have that deeper contraction of the PC muscle.
Okay.
Okay, so contract, breathe up, and pump 1, pump 2, pump 3. Do 2 more. Contract, breathe up. Pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4, pump 5. Last one, let's do a proper one. Contract, breathe up. Pump 1, 2, pump 3, pump 4, pump 5. Keep the energy at the top of your head. Just sit for a few seconds like this. Feel your body, feel the sensations in your body. What feels different? What do you feel? No right or wrong, just feel the sensation. Just sit for 4 or 5 seconds in silence like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Gosh, how was that?
Men, this is very, very great to practice on your own. So even before you make love, you can practice this. I mean, women also, but for the guys that want to learn to halt the ejaculation and breathe it up, if you can do this like 10 times a day, starting tomorrow, you know, and you'll find the next time you make love a week or 2 later, it's gonna teach you. You're gonna then, when you make love and you get close to ejaculating, you can then contract and breathe the energy up. So that's great for men then to have this full body experience and to delay the orgasm. So beautiful question. And for women also, you know, it's also energy. Yeah? So by breathing it up, you also spread it through your body and can start having, you know, I don't like the full body orgasm thing, but this full body sensation thing.
Beautiful, yeah. Yes.
So Kundalini yoga is for the wonders.
Yeah.
And the women have like the 3 locks, the inner one between the anus and the vaginal one, like that holds the kegel, and then have 2. It's like one in holding the pool and then one in holding like basically.
Yeah.
Those are locks, and it's used a lot to pull in energy, like as if you're grounding from the earth.
Sure.
Draw energy up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Kundalini yoga, I think it's great for this type of thing. I find guys that do Kundalini yoga find it very easy to breathe energy up because they've had experience of it.
My question is, you know, we just did that. We contracted and we pulled the energy up. When you are in the process of lovemaking, and I guess your arousal is getting quite high, and now you're going to go, okay, this might be the time to do the microcosmic orbit and do that. How might you transition from wherever you're at in the process of lovemaking to like, hold on, I just need to contract.
Yeah, beautiful.
And just do a few pumps.
Yeah.
And at the same time, my question is, when you're at that point, generally the contracting is what makes you ejaculate. What I've definitely found for a number of years now. So I've heard that side of the story, the contracting and the pumping, but also just the complete relaxation as well, because your body is going at a heightened state.
Oh, beautiful.
And it is contracting anyway.
Beautiful.
When you're going.
Beautiful.
So it might just be a good idea to calm down.
Yeah, so two beautiful questions there. First question, that's why it's so important to talk to your partner when you do this. You know, so the guys on a 21 day, day 2 is actually for their partners also to watch the videos, because it's not a joint experience, it's a 2-way experience, you know, it's a couple experience. So your partner, so my partner knows when I get in close and I go, then she slows down a bit. So this is not something that you just do on your own, and you know, so it was super important to talk to your partner, because if you also don't talk to her and you stop ejaculating, trust me, women is either going to think you're having an affair, or you don't find her sexy enough, because they're women, as a generalization, but women also have a lot of desirability is linked to the ejaculation of the guy. So there's so many reasons to talk to the partner, and also for that, in terms of what you say, you know, I mean, I actually say to the guys in the beginning, you know, do whatever you have to do, because you're going to learn it with your partner. If you have to stop, drop down, do 10 push-ups and then carry on, do that. It's fine. It's an experience. But obviously your partner needs to know that, otherwise it's pretty crazy.
Hang on.
Pretty crazy. So that's a beautiful question. And the second part is now you're getting to quite an advanced space, which is beautiful. The relaxation is a super important way to not ejaculate. However, in the beginning, if you never come across it, to strengthen your PCM, you don't want to strengthen it too much. That's why I say do 10, don't do hundreds of it, because you can also create too much tension here. But most men, the PC muscle is very, very weak. So by basically contracting, the prostate is in between. You actually stop the prostate from vibrating, which causes the ejaculation. So in the beginning, it is important because you just learn as you're at 50% arousal, you can start contracting, and that can stop you, and then you can lay longer. However, if you really edging, you probably heard about edging. Edging is when you're right at the 80-90% before dropping over. If you are really experienced and you can really breathe energy up and you can be right at the end there without ejaculating, then the best way not to ejaculate is to relax everything and not to contract. So it sounds like a contradiction. It's not. There's a nuance there, and it depends on what level you're.
And taking deep,
Good question,
taking
thank
deep
you.
breaths. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe just to add to that, what I've discovered or heard but practiced as well is, so we're talking about the contraction of the muscle, but also to learn to blow it up a bit. You know, I mean, it's like push, expand it. Because in the expansion, there's some sort of the opposite. You find
Exactly.
the opposite in the expansion.
Exactly.
Then obviously you can explore at that point of no return. So then you
Yes.
can see, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't contract, maybe I should expand.
Exactly.
Beautiful, yeah.
question.
Yeah, great.
Wow, some beautiful questions here. So the contracting and the breathing is one technique, and then there are many, like the relaxation, there are many few others. Another one is what you mentioned, which is expanding your energy. I was in the Holy Land. I was in Israel. I was connecting with Priestess Sharon, the sacred sexuality teacher there for 2 months, and we made love, and I was like right at the edge there, and I was like, I could feel, and she saw, and she said, expand your energy. And I just expanded my energy the size of the room, and then I expanded the size of Israel.
Wow.
And the ejaculate,
Wow.
it's 100%. You actually also by just put our minds are so powerful, the intention. You put the intention there to breathe the energy up, it goes up. Put the intention there to expand the energy, it goes outside your body, it goes out. You're still vibrating, but it's not spilling out.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there was a beautiful. I watched. Definitely share some of the resources that you can point people towards. One of the videos on your website with Michal.
Yeah.
And she did I think it's called 10 things she's said to. Has said to beloveds, and I love this one about surfing the 7. That if you reach that point, 7 out of 10 arousal, to kind of clock it and stay there. It's like you were saying, like before you reach the point of no return. Surf that 7. It was such a nice and if I may, another thing that she shared, which is so beautiful, in the Tantra kind of vocabulary, the penis is called a lingam, and she explains how it means beam of light.
Yeah, beautiful.
And when she said to a lover that, like see your penis, your lingam as a beam of light. Your beam of light is inside of me. I mean, that is just incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
That lovemaking. I mean, woof. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. So
the perspective almost. There's a few. Yeah, do you want to maybe mention some of the resources that people?
Yeah,
can,
so she's the Priestess Sharon in my book.
Oh, is she? Oh, is that her?
That's super interesting.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, this is a beautiful video to watch, and it's so nice
wonderful,
not to say me saying it, but someone else. She's super wise woman. And there are like 10 things there. Yeah. So to the question, it's on my website. It's free resources on my website. It's a lot of stuff there, a lot of videos, a lot of articles. So please have a look at it.
Yeah.
And those 10 points that she raises there are so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. Another one was which I love, which you also mentioned touched on is the orgasm should be celebrated.
Yeah.
To celebrate it, to not feel shame or make men feel like they are responsible for a woman's orgasm, or to feel like, oh, I came too quickly, to really to celebrate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly on that is to also when you, and another part of that also when you, as a man, practice this ejaculation control and you then do ejaculate, is to not to go, oh, fuck, but to actually celebrate it, to just let it flow into it. You know, sometimes I'm like at the edge and I don't want to ejaculate and I do ejaculate, but you know, so there's also one of the points that was part of that point is to, you know, so don't, I'm talking about these things, but don't take it too serious, you know. It's just not, if you don't ejaculate, we don't want to be shamed about ejaculating, you know, God, you know, we're just trying and experimenting with something. And ejaculation is beautiful. It's just finding the frequency.
Any other questions? Because we're going to swiftly run out of time. Yes.
So I'm curious around the role of death in this act of making life.
Well, death.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
And,
I love that.
This is to do with sort of the semen retention thing and holding one's energy, harnessing, you know, the stress of being horny in the world, lifting weights, and what. But the French have a term for an ejaculation where they call it the petite mort,
Yeah.
tiny death.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it makes me think and wonder about the previous speaker speaking about, you know, sort of this process of dying and coming alive again. And I'm curious about if there is an aspect of an ejaculation which is a death. And particularly in the sexuality of a man, there is that period, there's that refractory period where a man is vulnerable. He's not the stern, strong man holding safety for a woman to do whatever she wants. You know, he's small. He's the archetypal small penis, so to say. I mean, it does make sense for dudes to shy away, take a nap, you know, buy a box of cigarettes or to the beach in that particular scenario, because it's like scary. It's scary to have to be so tender, and I think my question is that it centers around this notion of a man's role in sexual performance and sexual mastery and excellence. And it creates a sort of like idea that, you know, a man must be for the woman, that if he comes and he's like tender, he must be part of the woman. He's got to do a thing. But there's like a two-way dynamic in all of that. It's sort of like both being present with the vulnerability of the other.
Oh, beautiful.
And sort of respecting the safety that you can also descend into that vulnerability.
Beautiful.
And if it happens in happenstance, that there's like you know, there's the container for that. Like, I'm not going to be shamed if I can.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just, and I got to chill right now. I got to chill, you know. I mean, not the end.
Beautiful.
Comes there now.
Yeah, so thank
To acknowledge the tenderness.
so thank you for expressing that so beautiful, because I don't know how many women have heard that. Huh? Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I've never heard that. Yeah,
So thank you for expressing that, because women don't know that you're actually very vulnerable in that space. So thank you for that. That's beautiful. Yeah, so basically that is so beautiful to ejaculate and to celebrate the ejaculate and enjoy it. Nothing wrong with it. And to have the refractory period. And that's beautiful, but you also have the option, once you know how to move energy, that you can make love longer if you want to. So it's not the one or the other, it's now just giving you options to play around with.
Thank you. Yes, Miriam.
I just wanted to address the question that you asked earlier about the difference between being present and going into your fantasy. And that there's a big difference between fantasy and imagination. Fantasy is when you go in with this preconceived notion, like you making it up. Oh, I'm going to think about this when I'm with you. I'm not present anymore. I'm now running away with my own sort of agenda. What I'm talking about is that when you're talking about this calm presence, this full body sensual presence, what does happen when you finally do reach these abandoned states is your imagination does open. And there you allow yourself to go wherever you go. It's
It's not like, oh, I'm going to think about your best friend now. But it's like, no, we're going to give each other permission. When we transcend this imminent state and we abandon ourselves to the ecstasy, whatever arrives is okay. Engage with it, commit it.
Beautiful. Thanks for expressing it.
Thank you. There was a question. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to kind of jump off what you were saying around, I think what is a very important piece around this expectation of male sexual performance.
Yeah.
And
I was
how
gonna
we
talk that.
are raised in this world just to perform in general life, but in the bedroom. It's
Yes.
just about, lasting the longest, being this ultimate being. So even in the conversation around presence, it's not even that I'm fantasizing. It's that I'm thinking, am I good enough? Am I, I hope I don't come quick. Is she liking what I'm doing? That's where I'm not being present. And my question is, you as a male sex coach, coaching men through this, outside of like the partner, what do you find men are healing through this, I
beautiful.
guess, male sexuality or sexual development outside of having to perform for your partner?
Beautiful.
Great question.
Beautiful
yeah.
question. And actually, both those two questions actually the same thing that I found. So I'll give you an example of, as a proof point. So one of the guys is actually, you'll be quite happy that I share. Nisu Dresu, he's quite a famous actor in South Africa. He was on my course and he actually did a few video clips on it, a 21-day course. And he actually told in his video clip, he said, I came to this course because I want to be the sexual master and I want to pleasure my wife and I want to be this guru and, sexual. And then in the course and in this process, he actually found it's actually not about her and doing anything to her. It's dropping him into his own self-love and his own body. It was profound. And then she was away for a week or two and then she came back, whilst in this 21-day course, and they made love. And in the last week, he shared with us that she was blown away by the lovemaking because she could feel that he wasn't trying to do anything to her and with her and to perform, as you say. He wasn't now in a performance mode. He was in his own body. He was enjoying his own pleasure and his own excitement. And she felt that. It took the pressure off her now to perform back. And she said the best sex of their life that they had, because now this guy he said, I came to this course to become this master, but now I'm actually realized it's not about that. It's about loving myself.
Sure. Beautiful.
And being in my own body and enjoying my own pleasure. And it's not up to me to give anyone an orgasm. Everyone has got their own orgasm, It's So it's a beautiful question. And those two things tie together. And that is such an important point, because what I don't want to do with this is put even more pressure on men on performing. There's already so much pressure on men in performing everywhere in life. This is just making aware of certain things you can do, which give variety to your lovemaking.
And I think you say in one of your videos or somewhere on your website, just even the way you walk could be affected. When men, it's such deep personal work.
Yeah, and it's a deep inner journey. And I find a lot of these guys actually, they come for like the sexuality mastery part, but that's a small fraction of it. A lot of it is actually dropping into where am I losing energy? Where am I not loving myself? And it's become a deep inner journey, which just like expands them and they walk forward in life, and proud to be masculine. I mean, there's so much pressure on masculinity. The whole toxic masculinity thing. And I know there were wrongs in the past, but these words are so terrible for especially the young guys. The 20s that are out here, they get hit with all of this. They're not always feeling so welcome being here. So I'm really passionate to, for healthy masculinity to be very proud and present.
Last question. Last question.
What advice, I guess I'm asking for other people now.
But make it
Erectile dysfunction, do you deal with men with this kind of issues? And could they also then master their sexuality? I mean, I used to be a pharmacist and I used to hang out these loopholes, And it's not only older men anymore, it's a lot of youngsters that are also experiencing this. And I know life is quite stressful, so
No, it's a beautiful question. And we can talk for hours about this, but I don't think we have. But I'll give a quick pointer. You know, for example, the premature, let's say, the erectile dysfunction, the premature ejaculation thing is often, it's only 2 or 3% of it's physical, it's 95% in the mind. And often, for example, that happens after, you know, the medical definition is 1 minute or 2 minutes. You know, I don't know. I believe if you come earlier than you want, that's in a way premature. But for a lot of men, what happens is that their nervous systems aren't used to all, and not just men, women also, are not used to all this pleasure and emotions. So a lot of guys actually, and so a lot of the work we also do is not just learn how to express and release emotions, you know, punching cushions, expressing your emotions, you know, because often what happens is the guys, they're making love with this woman or man, respective, and then the emotions is so much, and the connection is so much that a body can't handle this emotion and it can't handle the pleasure. And then what's the easiest? To abort is to ejaculate. So often that comes from something like this. That's one, you know, just one thing that can really help is to teaching men to express release. They can handle emotions, then they don't want to have to abort. And also if they can feel pleasure in their body. I mean, I believe not just men and women, our biggest problem, not biggest problem, reframe that, but a big problem is that we don't know how much bliss we can't handle the bliss in our body. We don't know how much bliss there is, and when it starts coming, our nervous systems aren't geared for that. So a lot of my friends and colleagues and women friends, you know, they do work in this space, helping people to really enjoy and experience the bliss in their body.
We could talk for a long time. I know, Josh, you had a question. Is it a quick one?
It's just a quick one. You're considering doing anything, for example, retreat yourself at the woman's tent, doing anything for kids with a men's tent?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. I wasn't to retreat yourself this year. I did actually apply to talk last year, but I think a year or two ago, but I think sexuality I think it's shifting. I think it was a little bit too much then. But I was at Spirit Fest. I talked at Spirit Fest in the men's zone. We had a beautiful men's zone. We had like 20, 30 guys there, and it was especially with rain on a Saturday, and the guys still came down, huh? And we had a beautiful, So there's a lot of this happening. Yeah, I'm talking to a lot of places. I'm going to Switzerland and to Tantra Festival in Switzerland in August, talking there, and then a few festivals. Also Shanti Festival last year, the weekend one I also spoke. So
and how? From my side, last question. How can people get involved? Is it just going to your website? What courses or what specifically is coming up that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Joanna. So my website is pretty easy. It's the spelling, which is quite different, lenerdlouw.com. And then there are YouTube links, and you can WhatsApp me from there, email me, just any question you have. I'm really passionate about this. Pop me a note. And then on the courses page, there's also the 21-day course. You can either do it self-study, or we can do it like in a one-on-one with 4 Zoom calls. And sometimes, you know, every now and then, once a year, I do groups. So it's coming up. So 2 weeks after Africa Burn, we're going to do here in Cedarburg a men's weekend. Super basically at cost. Me, a friend of mine, Gareth Pickering from Guatemala, we did a 12, 14 weeks relationship and sexual mastery program. He did the relationship, I did the sexuality part. And he's in South Africa. Going to be at Africa Burn. We're going to do some men's circles there, super on the fly, on the chill. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to be in the Cedarburg. Really, this is going to be at cost, you know. We're going to do 15, 20 guys just going out there. Not just sexuality, just general, you know, 15, 20 guys together.
Great. All right. So this is the tip of the iceberg. If you'd like to learn more, please reach out to Lenerd. Thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you.
Thank you.